Welcome to the No Sugarcoating Podcast. I am Amber Romaniuk, emotional eating, digestive, and hormone expert. I am also the founder of amberapproved.ca. I support professional women achieve optimal health through mindful eating, self-care, and overcoming self-sabotage with food. This podcast provides the honest truth on what you really need to create body freedom. The No Sugarcoating Podcast provides information on healthy living, lifestyle changes, nutrition, and diet, and is intended for informational purposes only. Always seek the advice of your healthcare practitioner regarding your health and nutrition program. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 210 of the No Sugarcoating Podcast. This week, I'm really excited to talk to you about and explore the key topics this week because I just think they are so relevant for so many of you who may be listening and so many women that I talk to and beyond that. So I hope that you enjoy today's episode. So this week, it's all about exploring reasons you keep putting off your health journey, health symptoms that emotional eating can fuel, and why taking a different approach is key with your health journey. And so obviously, when I talk about health symptoms that emotional eating can fuel, I'm not claiming that your emotional eating is causing this because I can't make claims that taking certain actions are causing certain symptoms, but I've just obviously seen enough through my own experience and working with my clients to witness that I do really believe that emotional eating and perfectionist mindsets and the things that I'm going to talk about today definitely do contribute to our health symptoms and can make them worse or can, just have your body be in a heightened state of sensitivity. So definitely looking forward to sharing more about that with you today. So I'm going to dive into a couple of key announcements. The show notes for today's episode can be found at amberapproved.ca/podcast/210. So be sure to subscribe to the No Sugarcoating Podcast on your favorite podcast app. You can click the link in the show notes below to subscribe, or again, you can subscribe to whatever podcast app is your favorite. Are you ready to master mindful eating? We're between American and Canadian Thanksgiving. We have the holiday season coming up. There is a lot of opportunity to get support with your mindful eating. But perhaps first of all, you're wondering what mindful eating is. So do you find yourself eating on the run or eating and multitasking? Perhaps boredom overtakes you, so you eat to fill the time. Maybe you want to eat more mindfully, but find social settings, peer pressure tend to trigger you to overindulge, which leaves you feeling bloated, inflamed, unhappy, and in regret. Building a mindful relationship with food allows you to enjoy your food and chew it properly, feel satisfied and satiated, supports your balanced blood sugar, eliminates cravings, and prevents emotional eating and binges, which are huge. So I want you to take a moment and imagine what it would feel like to eat mindfully without distractions from your phone, TV, or computer. How would it feel to take your lunch break to enjoy just eating your food? To be free of bloating, digestive disruptions, cravings, and low energy because you decided you wanted to learn how to master mindful eating. How would it feel if you could practice and live this every day? I know when my clients learn how to eat mindfully, not only do their physical symptoms improve and resolve, but they build a deeper appreciation for how they feel physically and emotionally. So as you've been hearing me talk about, in celebration of building a healthy relationship with food and releasing your symptoms, I'm offering a gratitude savings for my 6-month and 1-year coaching program. So if you are ready to have a further conversation, you're ready to invest in yourself and your health, email me at info@amberapproved.ca with the subject line Fall Coaching Sale to book your 30-minute complimentary body freedom call and secure your savings on the programs today. Building a healthy relationship with food and mindful self-care practices allow you to reach optimal health and have a new appreciation for your body and food, which is truly life-changing. And I'm really excited to further connect with you on that. So that's info@amberapproved.ca with the subject line Fall Coaching Sale. And if you're curious if you're struggling with mindless eating or emotional eating, be sure to take the emotional eating quiz at amberapproved.ca. You can click the link in the show notes and Stay tuned for the rest of the wonderful announcements, including a few new holiday things at the end of the podcast. You can listen to the rest of those show notes. So thank you for all of the reviews and ratings that I've been receiving. It really means a lot for your support in the podcast. So if you'd like to support the podcast by leaving a 5-star review and or a rating, you can do so on your phone or computer by going to podcasts. You need to search for the No Sugarcoating Podcast, even if you're already subscribed. And then once you're on my main page, you can click on reviews, write a review in purple, give me 5 stars if you like as well. Or you can go to amberapproved.ca/review and it will take you to the page where you can follow the steps that I've just shared. I haven't shared that in a little while, so I wanted to just give people a friendly reminder in case you're wondering how to leave a review. And if you're finding a specific eating style isn't working for you, you're struggling with emotional eating, digestive issues, inflammation, you suspect your hormones are out of whack, self-care and making yourself a priority continue to be a struggle, you're fighting with your body, with your weight, you're overwhelmed, or maybe you just don't know where to start, well, you're in the right place, my friends, as I'm going to continue to dive into the habits and mindsets to set you on a different path. Amber Approved offers private coaching for hormonal imbalances, weight loss and digestive issues, emotional eating, and more. Contact Amber at amberapproved.ca to book your 30-minute complimentary consultation today. So I think this first topic is huge. Reasons you keep putting off your health journey. Because I have a lot of conversations with women and it's so interesting to observe, and it's totally 100% okay if I talk to someone and they don't come to work with me or they don't sign up right away or they, seek support from other people. The goal for me is that you can get the help you need from whoever it's from to make the changes that you're wanting to change. But it's so interesting when I have a conversation with someone and they tell me, how much they're struggling and suffering and how they really want it to stop and they feel like they need, a different level of support. And then to see the reasons why, though, they keep putting off their health journey. It's so interesting because I know for me, when I first started this, I had many reasons why I kept putting off dealing with the emotional eating and going deeper, with all of this. And so I just think it's good to talk about it and address different common reasons why I observe people putting off their health journey. And it is, of course, without judgment. And I want to share this with you because I want you to be aware that if you have these stories going on for you, are you willing to admit it and own it and put it to the side so that you can take the actions to feel better, to overcome emotional eating, to gain food freedom, to have more energy, to get rid of your belly bloat, to balance your hormones and lose the weight and be in a better, have better moods. Why wouldn't you want those things? Well, we all want those things, but there is something called the ego, the self-sabotaging mindset, which really has us stand in the way. So I want to get into addressing the different reasons here. So number 1, and these are in no particular order, it's just what I added to my notes. So the first reason is fear. You are scared. You are scared of the unknown. What if I do this and I fail again? What if it doesn't work? I'm so tired of trying different things and having them not work. Trust me, I totally understand what it feels like to try so many different diets and quick fixes and fads, spending money on personal trainers and meal plans and books, and you continue to fail, because I so was there when I struggled with my food addiction and none of that worked. So it was really scary to think of trying different things, or scary to think about, oh, I actually have to deal with my emotions. Wow, I actually just can't do a diet to fix all of this. And that can be scary to think about. Who would I be without food? Who would I be if I didn't use food as a coping mechanism? Who would I be if I wasn't so busy focusing and worrying about obsessing what I'm eating every day and about my weight? We can have fears and concerns about things like that because it definitely can, it's just uncomfortable. It's unfamiliar. It's out of your comfort zone, and the unknown. Society tends to fear the unknown, which we don't have to, because there is so much good that comes out of stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something different. But fear is very common. Fear of the financial investment, because my coaching programs, there is a financial investment. So fear of spending money, fear of what if I spend this money and I don't make the changes? And I can tell you that 99% of the women who sign up with me make the changes and they don't regret making the investment. And they so see how much less it actually costs them to invest versus continue to struggle and suffer. You may fear letting other people down. You may fear what other people may think of you if you start to make changes. But it's to then, really think about, is the fear that's keeping me stuck worth all the suffering I'm going through? Is it worth, the negative impact it's having on every area of life, or is it time to make the change? So fear, very powerful, invisible emotion that can leave us feeling stuck. Another reason you keep putting off your health journey is you are just not yet aware of the significant impact your self-sabotaging behaviors, your, lack of taking care of yourself, your overbooked schedule, your emotional eating and diet mentality are having on your health, your well-being in every area of life. So often when I talk to prospective clients, women, friends, family, just whomever I'm, sharing with, when I start to have the conversation with them, they start to realize what a significant impact their negative self-talk, their diet mentalities, the emotional eating, continuing to only use quick fix approaches are having on their health. Not only their health, though, physically and emotionally, but the impact that it's then significantly having on their relationships with their spouse, their kids, friends, family, how it's impacting their abilities to run their business successfully or lack thereof, how it's impacting their career in a negative way, how it's limiting them from living life to the fullest and experiencing more fun and joy and happiness and freedom. So are you aware of the significant impact that emotional eating, having no time for yourself, having body insecurities and low self-worth is having on every area of your life, including your health? Like, are you struggling with low energy and PMS or menopause symptoms? Are you struggling with weight ups and downs? No matter what you spend money on, diets, personal trainers, etc., you can't lose the weight and keep it off. Are you struggling, with your moods and you're feeling low all the time? Are you struggling with bloating and just like gas and it's uncomfortable and it's embarrassing? These are all costs that add up and they impact your quality of life, your mood, and the way that you're living your life. And to me, that is so significant. So I think it's important to become aware of the significant impact that not making changes or not taking action is having on all areas of your life. Another reason you keep putting off your health journey, maybe you aren't ready to invest in your health. Maybe it seems too significant. Maybe you don't have the money. Maybe you are completely closed off to see how you could manifest or attract the money. I have this conversation with my clients all the time because I think it's so important to understand that, yes, it's an investment, but how can this investment significantly impact every area of your life for the better? I know what it's all about to make a significant investment in myself. 5 years ago, I started to work with a business coach and I could not afford it at the time. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to pay for this, but I knew that I couldn't not do it because what I was doing was not working for me. And it was the best investment I ever made to this date. I still work with her and I'm going into my 5th year of working with her. And the investment paid itself off very quickly. And not only did it help me in my business, but it's also obviously helped me personally tenfold. So it's like, if you aren't ready to invest in your health, are you not ready to make an emotional investment in yourself, a financial investment in yourself, the investment of time where you take action to create more time for yourself? Is it all of the above? And especially if it is financial, if you yourself are going, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. Like, can you ask for financial help from someone else? Can you take out a loan? Can you put it on a credit card? There are so many different ways to explore getting that support that is so life-changing. I've had clients get support from their parents, their kids, family, friends, do short-term loans and lines of credit. And again, they have not regretted the investment. In fact, they just say, I wish I would have done it sooner. And I'm so glad that I took the chance because it's paid off in so many ways. And again, it's like, what is it costing you financially to continue to not take action on your health? Like, how much are you spending on clothes, trainers, supplements, having really expensive pee, buying a bunch of healthy, produce and ingredients and then throwing it out because you're not taking the time to prepare it? Like, the costs add up really fast, even just financially, when we keep putting off our health journey. So that's definitely something to really consider. Another reason why you keep putting off your health journey is because you may not feel worthy. You may think, well, that may be great for you or for these people, but I just don't feel worthy. I don't believe that I can make the changes. And that again comes from a lack of worthiness. That comes from not feeling good enough. But just because you're feeling that way now does not mean you can build your self-worth, that you can work toward building, feeling good enough and having confidence and security within who you are and making these transformational changes. I tell you, 10 years ago when, everything hit the fan and I fell deep into binge eating, I had no idea why I was doing it or what was happening or why I had low self-worth or the fact that I sucked at managing stress. I had no idea that what I was putting into my body was either going to help to support my health or make it worse. I had no idea what was triggering me to emotionally eat, or that I didn't love myself, or that I had this big void that I kept trying to fill with food. I had no idea why I had cravings or bloating or any of that stuff. I had no clue about any of this. And here I am 10 years later. I'm an expert in this field, and I'm so grateful for everything that I went through, because it really has helped me go deep and provide, and be the missing link that a lot of people are looking for regarding bringing together, dealing with their physical and emotional states of health when it comes to this. And I'm so grateful. But I just want you to know, if I could come from that place and be where I am today, that is just so proof that you are also worthy. And while you may not feel it or believe it right now, it starts with taking a chance, taking a risk, going down a path that you have not been down yet. And that takes some courage, which we all have. And it takes some encouragement and belief. And that's what I'm here to do, is be your cheerleader and cheer you on and support you, and just let you know that I am so here to support you every step of the way, as long as you are open and you are open to the coaching. And, when the people come forth and work with me and are open to that, the change that they see is life-changing. It's profound. It's so big. And again, you are worthy to have that. So it's okay if you don't feel worthy now. It takes time to build the worthiness, but you can do it. So I kind of mentioned this already, but it may seem too uncomfortable to deal with emotions, to feel emotions, to do the deeper work, to not just continue to go into the fad diet mentality. So I don't rip off any band-aids. I meet you every step of the way if you come to work with me. Ideally, though, whomever you're working with, it's important you feel safe, supported, not judged, and that the answer is just not well, just stop eating, have more willpower, just don't go to the store. That to me is not supportive way or means to help you in an empowered way on your health journey. So it's important to take things one step at a time on the health journey, and to just ensure that you do feel supported every step of the way. And while some, things may feel uncomfortable, as you maybe start to say no, or you set a healthy boundary, or you ask for help, the more you get into a consistent rhythm of doing it, or to, use healthy ways to cope with stress instead of food, the less uncomfortable it feels and the more familiar it feels. And then it starts to feel comfortable to be empowered, to make empowering decisions, to ask for help, to say no. And what starts to feel uncomfortable is letting people walk all over you, is the emotional eating, is saying yes and overbooking your schedule and making yourself low on the priority list. Those things now start to become unfamiliar and uncomfortable. It takes time for that shift to happen, but I tell you, when it does, it's so empowering. And then you go, oh my goodness, again, I wish I would have done this sooner, because I feel so empowered and I feel so confident and so amazing that I am doing this. And again, it starts though with being willing to step outside of your comfort zone. It's like putting the toe into the pool and then putting half your foot, and then you put your foot and then you into your ankle, and it's just baby steps. That is the way. I don't believe in extreme, pushy, forceful, fast changes, because that often will make people scared and then push them back into their shell. So we don't want to do that. The No Sugarcoating podcast is proud to partner with Newco Natural Technology. Newco Natural Technology is a Canadian company located in the heart of Calgary, Alberta. Newco creates the finest and most effective natural health products in the industry through scientific innovation and understanding of nature's codes. Newco has discovered the miracle molecule sulforaphane, which is a super antioxidant extracted from broccoli that provides long-lasting protection for 72 hours after consumption or application. This miracle molecule is supported by over 1,800 clinical studies over the last 25 years. Newco's products range from supplements, skincare, to even chocolate bars, which use sulforaphane as its foundation. And I can tell you, the chocolate is delicious. The Brocogen 10 supplement contains sulforaphane, and one capsule is equivalent to eating 5 heads of broccoli. To learn more, visit newconatural.ca and use code AMBER to save 15% off your entire order. Remember, that's NEWCO natural.ca with the code AMBER for 15% off. Another reason you keep putting off your health journey is you're still convinced dieting and losing the weight will fix everything and make your life perfect. That is still focusing on this external image. And this is the mainstay of what society believes. I just need to eat less and exercise more and be perfect on my diet. And once I reach that goal weight, everything will be perfect. I mean this with love and I mean this with compassion, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Often people are trying to reach a certain weight to fulfill an inner happiness that will never be fulfilled with anything external, including a clothing size, a number on a scale. That's not to say that those things can't support your confidence, but confidence comes from within. Building self-love and self-worth come from within. This is not something that anything external can get you, whether it's a certain purse, a certain amount of plastic surgery to change your face or your body, a certain amount of money, a certain amount of, exercise goals that you've met. None of that will fully fill the void. That only comes from doing inner work. So the problem with the diet and the weight loss mentality is it's very external. Diets don't help you to deal with your emotional eating triggers. Diets don't help you build self-worth. They often take you further away from it. Diets don't help you build self-confidence and body love and acceptance in your body right now. And they sure as heck don't help you identify why you're struggling with the physical symptoms that you are, like bloating, low energy, and fatigue. So there's so many reasons why I believe diets and just focusing on weight loss are actually going to continue to take you further away from happiness and food freedom and, eliminating the symptoms that you are. That's not to say, yes, sometimes weight loss is important to support other parts of your health journey. But I've worked with countless clients who have started to feel better physically. And then they realize, wow, I don't need to lose weight to have more energy right now, or to have weight loss is not the magic pill that's going to resolve all my other health symptoms. I can actually feel better and have more confidence. And usually as that happens, then the protection comes off. Maybe you keep putting off your health journey because you don't feel supported. Maybe, unfortunately, you don't feel supported by your family, your spouse, your kids, your friends, your coworkers. Maybe you don't have the proper supportive person who's helping you on your journey. I've talked to countless clients who have felt judged by, their therapist or their psychologist or their counselor or their naturopath or whatever it is that they're working with. And I know a lot of really great naturopaths and doctors and, counselors and things like that. But if you are feeling judged and you are not feeling fully supported by whomever it is in your world, it's so important to have conversation with them or look for another person to support you, from the professional standpoint, because you should not feel judged or unsafe sharing what you need to share to get the help that you need. So get that support and change that. Another reason you keep putting off your health journey, you think it's only going to take reading a book or doing something really small. So I'm all about small changes. I'm all about books and resources. Heck, that's one of the reasons I've created this podcast, is because it is a resource. It's not going to it's not the thing that's going to fix everything, but it's going to help you build awareness. It's going to help you think differently and take a different approach. And that's what I want. But sometimes we think that just reading a book or buying one small program that's a week long or doing a meal plan is going to fix everything. But again, the thing with this is, yes, you may be more educated and have more knowledge and awareness, and those are all really positive, empowering things. But what that may not do for you, again, is give you the thorough, deep level of support that you really need to make these changes. What happens when you're triggered to emotionally eat and you forget about all the information you read in the book? What happens when you're out to eat and you can't stick to your meal plan, right? This is all of the stuff that I really help my clients with, or that hopefully you're looking for in the person that you go to support you. That's why I coach my clients every other week, and even some it's weekly. That's why I have email check-ins. That's why I have outreach phone calls for people to reach out, through the working days of the week to get that extra support. That's why I'm always here to answer questions, because I really believe it takes a close knit level of support to change this, because the habits can be so deep and ingrained and feel so heavy in the beginning. And as you get that deep level of support, everything starts to feel lighter. But again, a book or a podcast or, some form of small support can be additionally beneficial to a higher level of support. But I think it's important that we don't put all of our faith into one book or like one little thing. I used to do that all the time when I was struggling on my journey, and then I'd fail, and then I'd think, okay, well, I just need to go to the next book or the next diet or the next fad. And again, none of that worked because it was not a deep enough level of support, and I needed to really understand what was triggering me to go to food. So I can't stress how important it is that those things are great, like sub supports, I would say, but going into a deeper level of consistent support over a longer period of time, at least 6 months to a year, if not more, is so, so, so key to really gain that freedom and really to take the time to shift your mindset and balance your physical symptoms. Another reason why you keep putting off your health journey is because you keep overbooking yourself. You're not making yourself a priority. You're not taking the time to do self-care. You're not going to bed early. You're answering emails in the middle of the night. You're, saying yes to everyone else and no to yourself. You're skipping your lunch and snack breaks. You're not hydrated. You're not eating regularly. And then you wonder why you're exhausted and you're bloated and you're triggered to emotionally eat every other day, and you don't like the way you look and you hate your body, and you're having conflict in different areas of your life, and your business isn't flourishing as you want it to, or maybe you're having massive success with your business, but you're having no success with your health and your relationship with food. It's so interesting how it can impact different areas of life. And if, you're not even willing to give yourself 5 minutes to take some time to, potentially think about taking different action steps to go on a health journey or to reach out for help, or to, take a few minutes to do some self-care of some sort, to me, that is a significant concern. And we really want to look at why is that the case and what can we do to change it. Very important to start to think about unbooking. I know things are busy. I know people have a lot of very important things in their lives, but it's like, what is it costing you to be this overbooked? Nothing will change if you stay this overbooked. Another reason why you're not moving forward with your health journey is because you think you have to be perfect with it, or you might as well not bother at all. I was having this conversation earlier today with a client, and pretty much every person I talk to has the perfectionist mindset. I did as well. It's actually couldn't be further from the truth that we need to be perfect on our health journey or we aren't going to get the results. I actually believe it's about undoing this perfectionist mindset, because what is the opposite of that perfectionism is complete self-sabotage, throwing in the towel to everything, stopping all of your good habits and doing absolutely nothing. That is not healthy either, and that is not realistic. We want to find this in between, this balance, this, bringing it into the middle where it's like, I'm going to do my best, but it's not about perfection. And if I'm not perfect, I'm not going to punish myself. This is all part of self-worth as well. This need to be perfect or don't bother at all, because that's the all or nothing mindset. I'm either all in or all out. That is extreme. That is not healthy. That is not supportive of building optimal health or building a healthy relationship with food. That perfectionist all or nothing mindset, again, often takes us further away from, building balance and being mindful with food. So it's so important to address that perfectionist mindset. I'm all about having, big goals and taking action and being motivated, but that's different than like, it's got to be perfect or nothing at all. Like that's very black and white, and that is not healthy in any sense. And the last reason that I have, there are definitely more, but I want to move on to the second point, is that you aren't ready. So some people are just not ready. Like they have all this stuff going on and they're not willing to get uncomfortable. They're not willing to do the emotional work. They're not willing to set boundaries or make time for themselves or make themselves a priority. They're not willing to invest in their health, or they don't feel worthy to invest in their health. But, when you think about not being ready, like no one can force you or make you be ready. You've got to choose to want it on your own. But it's almost like gets to this point where people give up on themselves, and people give up on the chance to have food and body freedom and to build optimal health and to make the changes and have the confidence and build the body freedom. And it's like, why would you ever want to give up on yourself and give up on the possibility of having these things? Because I really believe everyone is worthy, but we do have to put in the work. I can tell you though, the benefits of that are endless, and it's like it could give you years more of your life and it's less suffering. And there's just so many positive things that come from doing this beautiful work and going on this journey. So if you aren't ready, I really encourage you to pull out a piece of paper and ask yourself, why don't I think I'm ready? Why don't I feel ready? And if you're not, respect that and respect where you are. But then it's to just look at like, are there all these reasons, stories, and excuses that I'm coming up with because I'm scared? Or is it that I just really need some more time to think about it and reflect? And then I'm going to come back to it and see if, I can go forward. I think that's important. The No Sugarcoating podcast is proud to partner with Herbaland. Herbaland products are sugar-free, gluten-free, vegan, and made with love in Richmond, British Columbia. All of their vitamins and supplements come in gummy form, making them easy and fun to take. Their products are made for everyone to enjoy. Whether you are struggling with capsule fatigue, have trouble swallowing large capsules, or you simply love your vitamins tasting like delicious watermelon, Herbaland is for you. And a fun fact is that Herbaland is also the #1 gummy manufacturer in Canada. Be sure to check out more information and try your gummies at www.herbaland.ca. That brings me to my second point, which is health symptoms that emotional eating can feel, because I really think putting off your health journey, especially if you're emotionally eating or you're stuck in the diet weight loss mentality and you're overbooking your schedule and you're not taking time for yourself, let's face it, it impacts the body's stress. As I talked about a few episodes ago, when I talked about immune health and how the more stress we have, the more cortisol we produce, that's the stress hormone, and the longer and more consistently we're producing that and it's in the blood, then we start to produce more inflammation because we're having an immune response because there's so much stress going on. And the more inflamed we are, the more that can contribute to more physical symptoms, low immune system. So I wanted to just highlight some of the health symptoms that emotional eating can contribute to, and continuing to not, make your health journey a priority, because it's important to understand the impact of what a mindset is doing then to your physical state of health. So, I see tons of digestive symptoms. Almost every person that comes to work with me, whether they're struggling with emotional eating or not, usually they are, but for some they aren't, they have tons of digestive symptoms. So things like heartburn, low stomach acid, bloating, gas, candida, which is imbalance of unhealthy bacteria in the large intestine, liver imbalances, constipation, diarrhea. They're only having bowel movements, a couple times a week. No matter what you eat, you feel sensitive to so many foods, or it just keeps getting worse. You have leaky gut, you have inflammation, puffiness, you have pain that you can't get rid of, swelling, redness, you have skin issues like eczema and psoriasis that continue to get worse. Your skin's always breaking out. This is all potential signs of inflammation, and emotional eating is just such a forceful habit on the body to be overeating or binge eating to the point where you're so full that you're sick, or to be mindlessly snacking on inflammatory foods all the time. And that can have a significant impact on inflammation in your digestive system. Hormone imbalances are another big one. So like fatigue, low moods, hair loss, thinning of the eyebrows, your cycle keeps disappearing, or it's too heavy, you can't get pregnant, or you're having bad menopause symptoms, hot flashes, night sweats, weight gain, feeling hot and cold all the time, abdominal weight gain. These are all potential signs of hormone imbalances. And again, because emotional eating, overbooked schedules, poor sleep, things like that are all such significant factors in feeling these symptoms. We can create hormone imbalances very easily and not even know it. And if we don't know it, and we don't know how to look for it and then how to support it, they can just get worse. And so I see cortisol levels that are way too high or way too low because people are over exercising, they're overbooking their schedules, they're not getting enough sleep, they're eating on the run, they're, drinking cups and cups and cups of coffee every day to try and give them a boost, when it's actually, we need to change the foundation of all of this to help balance those hormones, because it's having a negative impact on pretty much every aspect of you, everything from the fatigue, you can't sleep properly, you have cravings for salt and carbs, you're gaining weight and you can't lose it, you're getting sick all the time and it takes you a long time to get over it. Like, this is significant. So when you have these different symptoms going on, then it can overflow and have a negative impact on other hormones. So it usually starts with cortisol, and it can have a negative impact on your thyroid. And most people end up with an underactive thyroid that I observe, and then they're struggling again to lose lose weight, their metabolism sluggish. You're not getting the appetite signal that you're hungry, which that's a huge sign that your metabolism and thyroid may be sluggish. Your estrogen levels can get way too high, and that makes it difficult to lose weight. And then you have excess estrogen in your fat cells, and that is not good for, high estrogen over the long term can increase your chance for estrogen dominating cancers. And we don't want to see that kind of stuff happen when we could have had the opportunity to be preventative, take action now, and prevent stuff like that from happening down the road, right? Hormone stuff can all impact your insulin, blood sugar levels, and create insulin resistance and, set up increased risk for autoimmune conditions, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancers, arthritis, Hashimoto's, other inflammatory issues, skin issues, so much stuff that I haven't even mentioned. Like, I could just talk about that. We want to prevent, but in order to prevent the cravings, the fatigue, the low energy, the irritability, the low moods, the overwhelm, the PMS symptoms, the low sex drive, the menopause, the weight gain, increased and decreased appetite levels, the sluggish metabolism, all the stuff I've been talking about. In order to prevent, we have to be willing to stop all the excuses, stories, and reasons why we keep putting off ourselves, our physical, emotional health and well-being, and taking a different approach. Because I really think a lot of people, if not everyone on this earth, at some point has taken their health and their body for granted. I always used to. I didn't know any better. I had no awareness and no recollection of how my actions and thoughts were impacting my health. But now I am very awake, and I'm very grateful for the experiences I've gone through because they have awakened me and they've given me the awareness and the in-tuneness with my body that she is a temple, and the way that I treat her is going to dictate the way she treats me and the quality of life that I have. And I think it's important that we stop taking our bodies for granted and we start to understand the repercussions and the consequences of ignoring our bodies, of treating them like garbage dumpsters, of saying negative things to them all the time, of not resting them and hydrating them and nourishing them properly and not taking care of them and just assuming that, well, it's just going to keep working for me and I'm just going to keep going and going as hard as I am and being in this self-sabotaging behavior with food. Because at some point or another, I hate to say it, but the truth is, it will catch up with you if it is not already, and it will become more significant. The symptoms and the mood changes and the impacts will become more significant, and your body will speak to you more loudly the longer you ignore her or him. It's true. So I guess the question is, are you willing to continue that and accept that as your normal, which I really encourage you not to? Or are you ready to acknowledge your body talking to you, or maybe your body's yelling at you at this point, and to start to make some empowering changes? And then people say to me, well, I want to make changes, but I have no idea where to start. There's so much information on the internet. It's overwhelming. And then I just shut down. And this is where I actually encourage you, for the most part, like, this is a complex journey. This journey is going to take time. The No Sugarcoating podcast is proud to partner with Lowen's Natural Skincare. Conceived by a pharmacist for his infant daughter and company namesake, the Lowen's story began with a single, simple, yet extremely effective diaper balm created to treat a persistent rash. Established in 2010, Lowen's crafts safe, effective, evidence-based natural skincare products utilizing organic, locally sourced, fair trade, and fresh ingredients. Lowen's is PETA certified cruelty-free, and all products have been thoroughly evaluated by the Environmental Working Group, most of which carry the EWG verified logo, establishing Lowen's as an industry leader in transparency, environmental impact, and safety. Lowen's Natural Skincare. Pharmacist formulated, family owned, safe, effective, better. You can learn more and shop online at www.lowens.ca. And I want to explain to you why taking a different approach is key to make these changes, because obviously if what you were doing worked, you wouldn't have had to try a million different, renditions of it and still be struggling with the exact same things. A different approach is so key because, as I already mentioned, the diet approach doesn't work. It doesn't address emotions, your emotional eating habits. It doesn't address overbooked schedules, the perfectionist mindset, low self-worth. It doesn't help you understand why you may have hormone or digestive imbalances. It doesn't help you to say no or to stop the people-pleasing mentality. Diets don't work. They often make you feel restricted restricted and make you feel you have to be perfect. And if you don't attain that, then you won't get the results you want, which is so limiting and so, I just think, archaic. Like the eat less, exercise more model is so archaic. The BMI index and basing your health off of just that is so archaic. It's about so much more physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, if you're open to those things, which I really believe also play a huge role. But if it's for you, it's the physical, mental, emotional, like those are significant. So we have to be willing to slowly open up to taking a different approach that is deeper, that is more thorough. And it often is a more thorough, deep journey because there's so many layers here. This stuff is cropped up over time and it's going to take time to change. It doesn't happen overnight. So that's why we have to be patient, bring in patience, find our patience, and be willing to take the time that we need for our unique health journeys. Because what you're going to find is you don't just get there and then like everything's just dandy for the rest of your life. You get to this place where you can maintain your health, and then if something little happens, it's easy to support it. But you're inspired to keep growing and deepening the relationship you have with yourself and your body, and keep working on other like things that don't serve you anymore because you love the freedom and how well you feel. Like I still to this day am working on limiting beliefs. I'm over the food addiction and I'm my optimal health is growing every day. But I'm still tweaking my lymphatic system. I'm still getting, some inflammation out of the body. I'm working still on like overcoming my abandonment and attachment issues. I am still working on mastering my ego. I'm human too, but I want to have even more freedom and have even more peace and enlightenment within myself and connect with my soul more deeply. And how do I do that? Well, by continuing to take responsibility for my stuff and to do my own inner work. But that's what happens when you take responsibility and you start to see the shifting. You want to do it because you feel so much more empowered. And that to me is priceless. So we have to be willing to take a different approach. We have to be willing to take time for ourselves as well. So are you willing to take time for yourself? Because that is so important to building optimal health, a healthy relationship with yourself and with food. Taking time now could add years to your life. So do you feel worth that? And do you want that? Ditching diets is so important, I think. So do you have resistance when I ask you, like, are you open to ditching the diet mentality? Does that make you feel resistant? It's important we address all or nothing mindsets, perfectionist, overachieving, people-pleasing mindsets, because those things have you placing yourself low on the priority list, and that does not support you getting better. These are missing links to the journey that I support my clients with, also supporting closely your digestive system and assessing all your digestive organs, supporting your hormone health and addressing all of that. That's so important. Understanding why you emotionally eat, even if it seems so minuscule, it can have a huge impact. But as we address the mindset and the physical state of health, it really is the missing link to bring those both together. So I think it's important to start to understand what's holding you back. And, are you willing to put some of that to the side so you can move forward? I think that's just such an important question to ask yourself. And what kind of quality of life and health could you have if you did that? So I'd love for you to journal as like an exercise, a homework exercise. Like what kind of quality of life could you have in every area, including your health and well-being, if you had food and body freedom and optimal health? Journal, write it all down. Take time for this, because you may look back on that paper and that may be the motivator that you need to go, I'm done with all the stories and excuses. I'm going to take action. And maybe it's not, and that's okay. It's wherever you're at. Totally accept that. At the same time, as I always, say, what does it cost you to stay stuck? What does it cost you to not do anything? What does it cost you to keep just giving all these excuses and stories as to why? Because you are worth more than that. And your greatest good is worth more than staying in your stories and your comfort zone, essentially. So if this is resonating for you, take advantage of the coaching sale. Email me at info@amberapproved.ca with a subject line, fall coaching sale. Book your 30-minute body freedom call. Have the conversation. I had chatted with a woman earlier and she said, after talking to you today, I now realize how significant this is in the different areas it's impacting my life negatively, and I need to change it. Like, it's just not a question anymore. Like, it's way too significant. I'm done with it being this significant. I need to make these changes. I want to do this work. So even just that conversation completely shifted the outlook that she had in 20 minutes. That's how powerful this is, to even have the conversation. So if that resonates, connect, take the emotional eating quiz on my website, keep listening to the podcast. But I encourage you to keep getting, the barriers out of the way, and again, or reach out for support to help you get the barriers out of the way so you can get closer to that optimal health. That's so key. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Again, the show notes can be found at amberapproved.ca /podcast/210. If you have questions about the podcast, feedback about the podcast topics, be sure to email them to me at info@amberapproved.ca. As well, I've already mentioned, be sure to take the emotional eating quiz. You can click the link in the show notes. Really excited to announce a couple of holiday pieces. So my holiday 2019 gift guide is live. So if you're wanting to shop and give the gift of health while supporting local Canadian companies, be sure to click the link below to check out this year's Amber Approved Holiday Gift Guide. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at amberapproved. That's ROMANIUK, because I'm doing my holiday giveaways for the next 2 weeks with 6 wonderful companies. And some of them are worldwide, North America wide, Canada wide. So there's something for everybody. So you're definitely going to want to make sure that you stay tuned to Instagram to participate in those giveaways. Last but not least, the winter edition of Amber Approved magazine is up on my website now. Recipes, health tips, and again, wonderful companies sharing their wisdom, on how to support your health. So make sure that you check that out. The link for the magazine as well will be in the show notes. So as I always say, there's no better time than the present to take action on your health. So take action now. Have a beautiful day, a great week, and I will look forward to sharing a whole new episode with you next week. I have a very special guest, so look forward to sharing that with you. Take care. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe, review, and rate this podcast and share it with your friends. You can find me at amberapproved.ca and follow me on Instagram and YouTube at amberromaniuk. Join me next Sunday for another brand new episode and another step toward body freedom.